This is going to be a quick and crude video on how to cut aluminum. There's not a whole lot of info on how to cut aluminum for some reason. It's very simple. But number one, you do not want to be using the cutoff wheels that a lot of people use. Try to avoid using these if possible. They gum up with aluminum, and because they're thin for cutting, sorry about the focus on my camera there, but because they are thin for cutting, they are not designed to cut through aluminum. They gum up and they can explode. And yes, I've had it happen to me. Yes, you might not have it happen to you, and you might get away for the rest of your life, but it is not worth it to do it, to take one in the eye, or worst of all, well, no, that'd be the worst of all, or take one in the face. Also, with that being said, highly recommended. Someone wears a good face shield with chin protection. Highly recommended a face shield above simple safety glasses. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep the video short. So you can cut aluminum with whatever you want, as long as you have the right blade. What I mean by whatever you want is whatever tool you want. I'm using a skill saw. You can use a chop saw. You can use a table saw. The key thing is you want to have a blade that has a higher tooth count, roughly like 50 to 80 or so. If the tooth count is too high, the teeth will clog up and they will not cut the aluminum. And I know this from experience. Let me see if I can find the little blades here. One second. Let me see. So let me see. Here we go. Here's one. So for example, you can even cut it with a jigsaw. A jigsaw works fine. You just have to have the right type of blade. If you get a tooth count that is too high, this is what happens right here. They clog up. Try to get the focus on that. They clog up, and you can see right there how it is clogged with aluminum. Well, that means that when they clog up, they stop cutting. So that's why you do not want to use your classic metal blades with the small teeth. And you want to go with a standard non-ferrous aluminum cutting wheel for non-ferrous metals. It'll cut aluminum, brass, and things like that. You can also use a standard wood cutting blade that has the carbide tips on it. Let's see if I can get, man, this focus is not happening. The carbide tips, those little metal tips there. You want to use one that has the carbide, but yes, you can use a standard wood one because they have wider teeth, they have wider gaps. The key is to go slow and don't go too fast. If you go too fast, you will end up obviously gouging the metal. But believe it or not, when you cut this metal and you have the right blade, it cuts like butter. And I'm gonna show you here in a minute. This blade I have here is a wood blade. It is not a non-ferrous blade that I just recommended. So yes, I have the wrong blade, but this also shows you that you can cut it with a wood blade that has a higher tooth count. So with that being said, I'm gonna show this cutting, and here we go. And you can see also this is thick material. Let me grab a tape measure. This material is thick that I'm cutting through. And this is not happening here. I'm having the most horrible time trying to focus. This is why I don't do a lot of videos, by the way, because I don't have a lot of time to, so that's about an 1/8 inch thick at that wall. But we're going to be cutting through this section here. Okay, you can see how thick that is. It is some thick stuff. So anyway, and yeah, I've already cut a few here chunks. A few chunks have already been cut off, and that's what the cuts look like. That's what the blade leaves behind. You can see there where I already cut it. Okay, so now for the demonstration. Here we go. And this is why I don't do a lot of videos, because I don't usually have time. I'm trying to do these things before I go to work and work on my projects. A little sneak peek at what I'm working on right now. The boat that, if anyone has seen it on my channel, I restored. So, and then I'll be working on my big boat here in a little bit, so it's getting a 60 horse E-Tech. All right, here we go. I don't make the video too long, so here we go. I'm going to pause it and switch to the front camera. Okay, here we go. I hope the camera does not fall, and then I also hope the battery doesn't run out or the storage doesn't run out. All right, here we go. I'm just going to do a quick cut to show how the blade cuts and how smooth it cuts, all right? And this is a regular wood blade. This is not a non-ferrous blade, which is what you should have, is a non-ferrous cutting blade, all right? Here we go. Okay, I hope that was enough to show, but there's a quick cut. You can see it cuts very quickly. Nice and straight. Nice and clean. And that is a wood blade I just used. It just has a high tooth count. They sell the same blades in non-ferrous for roughly between $40 and upwards to like $80, depending on the quality of blade. But you see what I just cut. You saw me measure how thick it was. So I'm using a wood blade. It can be done with a blade, but I recommend you get a high tooth count non-ferrous cutting blade for cutting aluminum, and you can do it on a chop saw, skill saw, table saw, a band saw, anything, sawzall, any of that stuff. So get the non-ferrous and cut some aluminum. It's easy. You saw how quick it cuts. It cuts like butter. And you want to go with an actual cutting blade because it leaves little shavings like this that make it a lot easier for cleanup. And also, you don't breathe it in. When you use the cutoff wheels, the little carbide cutoff wheels, they make dust that goes in your lungs. So, and get the eye protection and ear protection. Anyways, so I hope that helps out whoever's looking on how to cut aluminum. Yes, it's that simple. On a quick note, I also want to say too, this blade I bought brand new, and it's only been cutting aluminum. That's the only thing it's touched. They last a very long time. I've been cutting all this aluminum. I've cut all the aluminum in there. I've cut so much. All this, all these pieces, all that, all this. I've made all these cuts, and I'm still going to cut that diamond plate. I've cut so much, and I need to have a lot more to cut still. And these blades last a very long time, and that's just the wood blade. So the non-ferrous will last even longer. And so just a little heads up on how long they last. And I think this one cost me $30 at Home Depot. And also lubricate your blade every once in a while. Lubricate your blade. Just spray a little bit, just like that. Every once in a while, spray your blade down a little bit with WD-40, or you can get an official aluminum lubricant. I don't know. But that's what I use, and it works just fine, and I can weld just fine. So anyways, I want to throw that in there too on just the longevity of the blades. They last a very long time. All right, have a good one.